Hello, welcome back to Becky Bakes. Today I'm going to make some chocolate chip biscuits. They're a crunchy chocolate chip biscuit. They're not the chewy cookie. These last longer and they're actually easier and more reliable, so I think you'll like this one. So for the chocolate chip biscuits, I've got the oven on to gas mark 4, which is 180 Fahrenheit or 160 if you have a fan oven. And I've got 2 large baking trays ready. This is going to make 20 biscuits, so you need the capacity, obviously, between probably 2 trays. 3 will get a bit complicated. Because they don't spread too much, I'm just going to use 2. I know it's going to work. And I've lined them with this silicone non-stick liner. It makes them easier to get off the tray, and it also preserves your trays and keeps your baking trays nicer for longer. And this is what it looks like when this stuff is new. You can see that mine is beginning to look a bit aged, but they say you can use it for up to 5 years. It's washable. It would go in the dishwasher, but I don't do that. I think that's a bit risky. So, in the mixing bowl, I've got 125 grams of soft margarine or butter, depends what you want to use, and I'm going to add to that 50 grams of caster sugar. You can use golden caster if you've got that, that works quite well. And you can do this with a spoon, you can cream it together with a spoon, but I've got a lovely new mixer and I'm going to see how it works. So here we go, noisy. Oh, not so noisy. There we are. So the next thing to do is to add an egg, and it's always a good idea to crack it into a bowl so that you know you haven't got any shell in there. So no shell. Give it a mix. Just break up the yolk, it helps it to mix into the margarine. And because this was at room temperature, they're both at room temperature, it shouldn't curdle. That doesn't affect the flavour or the finished result, it just doesn't look very nice while you're mixing it. Right, the next thing to add is 150 grams of self-raising flour, and you can use gluten-free for this if you want to. That works just as well. Again, mix it in. There, now at this stage it's quite a dry mixture, and I know that I'm not going to be able to put the chocolate chips in and use the beaters for that, so I need to just clean these off before I mix the chocolate chips in with a spoon. Now this can be white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate. In fact, when my children were little, I used to ration their Easter eggs, and generally by July the Easter eggs would go into chocolate chip biscuits. I confess that now. Right, there we are. So in go the chocolate chips. I've got a mixture of milk and dark, and they just need a quick stir round. You can go around the side of the bowl at this stage as well and make sure everything's well mixed. There, that's it. So now to the trays. I'm going to use 2 spoons, one to scoop it up and the other to push it off. And if you're doing this with a child, in order to get 20, the best way to do it is divide it in half and then get 10 from each half. And they need to be about that big. It's about half a heaped dessert spoon. Push it off and then give the next one a bit of space. And I tend to put them on like the dots on dominoes or playing cards. And then you know you've got a bit of space around them. So that kind of size. They won't spread a huge amount, but they do need a bit of space. Now when you've done your 20, if you've got a bit left over, go back and make some of them a bit bigger. You really don't want to get onto a 3rd tray because that will give you challenges in the oven. So just make sure you've got as much out as you can. Don't lose any chocolate, for goodness sake, especially if it's Easter eggs. Right, there we are. Now they are going to go in the oven and they cook for between 15 to 20 minutes, and I can tell you from experience that the ones on the top will take about 18 and the ones underneath might take about 26. So it depends on your oven, but you've got one above the other. The top one will cook fastest. There we are. That's the second tray. They need to have about 10 minutes just to firm up. You can see they're not stuck at all, which is great. And then they need to go on a cooling rack and then into a tin, and they'll last, well, they'll keep for a week. How long they'll last depends on how many you eat, but there we are. They keep for about a week anyway. There they are, chocolate chip biscuits. I hope you have a go at this, and if you do send us a photograph for the gallery. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and then if you go to the website you'll find a printable version of the recipe too. So, enjoy!